uh, it may not be related to this today's class, but maybe a past class. Brahman is, the way I understand is, Brahman is inert. He cannot create anything. But Maya Sahita Brahman is Jagat Karana. Maya Sahita Brahman, is he called Ishvara? And what exactly the term Ishvara means? Is it any any God is Ishvara?
So tell me, any God is Ishvara means, what do you mean by that statement? Tell me that first.
Okay. For example, Ishvara, if he is equal to Maya Sahita Brahman, if he is equal to Maya Sahita Brahman, then the creator of this Jagat is Ishvara. Now, we have also learned that Bhagavan is Sarvashaktiman, Sarvajna, and all the six qualities he has. So he is also equally capable of forming the Jagat. So there are many, we call many gods as Bhagavan. Is all these gods are Ishvara?
Yeah. So I presume what you mean by the word gods is that all the devatas.
Yeah.
So from Brahma onwards, Shiva, Vishnu onwards, everything, Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, everything, all this, we use a general word called God. So we can say Devata. Devata is a better word now, I think. And so your first statement is correct. Maya Sahita Brahma Ishvara. That is a definition of Ishvara. So because Brahma cannot create, Brahma has no kartritvam, means doership. And so Maya is essential. Without Maya, Brahma cannot create. And so Maya and Brahma together is called Ishvara. Then everything else you mentioned about Devatas. So every Devata, see, we have to understand the concept of Devata. I'll explain it to you another class, but briefly. You recognize the power of, you recognize rainfall. You recognize a phenomenon. You study the phenomenon in school or college. And how water evaporates from the oceans, how it goes and it forms clouds and etc. And then rain falls. And the flow of water, everything you studied, and then you study seasons. And then you call, there is something called rainy season, etc. etc. That entire thing, body of knowledge that you have studied, let's call it some science. Let's give a name, atmospheric science. Okay. It's all science. Everything is understood, correct? Because science means understanding only, not believed.
Yes.
Everything, that whole body of knowledge, we call that as Varuna.
Okay.
We call that body of knowledge as Varuna Devata.
Okay.
That body of knowledge, that I know only so much. There is so much more to know, remember. Varuna Devata is the entire body of knowledge, of which I know just a small piece. Very clear, because these weather forecasters are predicting and still the success rate is not that good. They say 20% chance of rain. They say 20% chance of rain. There also they put chance in there. They get away with this. So that shows there is so much to know. Why can't they say, in this particular subdivision or of this city, there will be rain. Why can't they say that? Can't say that. Because we don't have that knowledge yet. It's too complex. And so that complex entire body of knowledge, we recognize, our Shastram recognizes there is something to know, and that is called Varuna Devata. So when I invoke Varuna in these waters, I am doing a homa, and I have a pot of water, and I do Punyaha Vachanam, and then Varuna is being invoked. And that entire science, that knowledge is being invoked, and I recognize that as Ishvara. As a manifestation, one manifestation of Ishvara is called Devata. Okay?
Okay.
So one manifestation, one small pocket of science, pocket of knowledge called atmospheric science is called Varuna Devata. Therefore, we need lot of Devatas. Any Devata you can say, what about construction? So Vastu is there, Vastu Devata. Then medicine, well-being. So there is Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari, a part of Vishnu, a form of Vishnu, a manifestation of Vishnu, only focused on health, well-being. So you go to Arya Vaidya Pharmacy in Coimbatore. Here they have a big Dhanvantari temple. Very beautiful, very nice, very well taken care of. And you just go there, you feel calm. Because that Dhanvantari is there. So that recognition, all these devatas are not some fictitious things. They are all there. If you say rain is, you won't say rain is fictitious. If rain is not fictitious, Varuna is not fictitious. That is what I am saying. So to summarize, yes, Maya Sahita Brahma, which we will study later, is Ishvara, and Ishvara's many manifestations. We assign a particular aspect of this world to Ishvara, and then we give a name to that Ishvara, and we call that as a Devata. Okay. So Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. Same Devi, same Maya Shakti, but various aspects of Devi. Correct? So we'll stop there. That's a big discussion, but we will continue that when the time is appropriate.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Any other questions? So if anybody's, yeah, go ahead.
Swamiji, I missed part of that Praman thing because I have to check in. I'm at the airport right now. So I want to ask you, does Vedanta accept Arthapatti as Pramana? And please give one or two examples of Arthapatti.
Yeah, Arthapatti. So, yeah, there are many pramanas.
Does Advaita Vedanta accept first of all Arthapatti as
Pramana?
Yeah,
of course. Arthapatti is accepted. It is a pramana.
Okay, then one or two examples.
Yeah,
because that Devadatta example, that he's he's not eating during the day and he's eating at night, that seems to be more of an Anuman Pramana to me, because I can verify it. But any other example?
Yeah, so the idea is that Arthat Apatti, that means without something it is not tenable. That is the idea. That is Arthapatti, right? And so that Devadatta example is given. So if so these two pramanas, one appears like an inference of the other. So for example, so in fact the example I gave, you get up at 8 o'clock and it's Sunday morning and there are 3 children at home, and there is absolutely no noise at home. Absolutely no noise at home. 3 children at home, 8 o'clock, Sunday morning. You can imagine how it should be. And then you make a conclusion that the children must be playing outside. Okay. So that is Anumanam. But then if there are multiple data points, then we say it is Arthapattihi. Without, unless the children are outside, it is impossible to have a silent home. Arthapati. So yeah, absolutely, Vedanta accepts it. Yes, it is a means of knowledge.
Maybe
And then
they are
there's one more.
sleeping.
Huh?
Maybe they are sleeping still.
So that is also there. Maybe they're sleeping, exactly. So whatever inference you make, and then you say it is 8 o'clock, then maybe they're sleeping. Then what? It is 8 o'clock. The two younger ones get up at 6 in the morning and they come knocking on my door. And so it is not possible that child is sleeping. Like this, more data is there. And then using more data points, you come to a conclusion. And then Arthapatti is used to say, unless these children are out, it is impossible. This situation is impossible. Now, having said that, then there is one more pramanam too. There is something called anumanam. Upama. So upama is example, correct? Example. So using an example, you can know something. So I want to know about some animal which I have never seen, and then what is a reindeer? Somebody asks. Oh, you don't know what a reindeer is? Then we have to. Then you start giving examples. It is like a deer. It doesn't. It lives in cold climate, and then it's a big deer, and it has horns that are very wide and very. The horn itself is like a tree with branches, leafless branches, and then so that person begins to get an idea of the reindeer, of the animal, and then the person might say, yeah, now I know what you're talking about. I've seen what a reindeer. I know what a reindeer is. So using upama means using a simile, using an example, using an illustration. And that is also a pramana. So any means of knowledge, any means of knowledge which helps me appreciate a fact is of course accepted by Vedanta. Does that help, Kuldeep ji?
Yes. No, my only clarification was regarding Arthapati. Only that.
Yeah,
Because
Arthapati is very much one of the pramanas.
why is it necessary for Vedanta? Why can't we do without it? For example, Sankhya does not accept Arthapati. They say it's part of Anumana, subsume it. So why is it specially necessary in Vedanta? Advaita Vedanta.
It is necessary to appreciate the Arthapati. That's all. Atma Jnanam Arthapati is not useful anyway. We discuss all these means to say comprehensively what are all the means of knowledge. And none of those means of knowledge will work. You are welcome to add one more means of knowledge. And then we will say that also will not work. Shabda Pramanam only will work. Okay.
All right.
So not much is lost by saying that they don't accept Arthapatti. They think Arthapatti is part of Anumana. That is fine. So there are all these fine categories, right? So those fine categories are in some kind of how you define all these things. But that is not the central aspect. Pramanam is important, and the fact that those pramanas will not work in this subject is also to be appreciated.
Right. Dhanyavad.